I'm Scott L. Miller. This is my life living in Leon, Nicaragua, and a lot of people ask me on a regular basis, but I had some recent questions about how much does internet cost, how fast it is, how do you get it, and all that kind of stuff here in Leon, more or less specifically, but people wonder all over the country. Of course, it's a little bit different by city, but we actually went and had Marcela get internet just today, and it's perfect timing for me to share with you the cost and experience of doing that, exactly how it went and what she needed to do, because this will give you a little bit of insight. So hopefully for people who are looking for consumer internet, this will answer a lot of your questions. So we're going to dig into what it was like getting Claro fiber to her house here in Sutiava, Leon, right after the bump. I always get lots of questions about this, and it's a little bit difficult for me to answer because, one, it's different everywhere and it changes over time on a regular basis. The speeds and costs that were available when we first moved to the country and looked at a lot of options 5 or 6 years ago when we moved full-time are very different than what's available today. Of course, internet is one of those things that changes rather rapidly, especially in a country that is upgrading their infrastructure so quickly. What we've seen as far as speeds and cost have changed quite dramatically, which is amazing considering what a good deal we generally found on that stuff all that time ago. Now, for my own experience, I work from home full time. I run a software and IT company, so having extremely high-end commercial internet, even for my home office, is pretty imperative. So everywhere that I've been dealing with internet myself firsthand is always Teco Fiber, which is the commercial carrier here in Nicaragua. So if you're looking to run a business on your internet and you have really demanding needs, you really need the best reliability and such, you typically are going to go with Teco. But for most people, especially your retirees, your families that are moving in, people who are just casually working from home in a normal sense, not running a business from a different location, then you're probably not going to be necessarily locked to Teco. You still may want to consider it for lots of reasons, and we're extremely happy with them. So that's worth noting. I love Teco, and I do recommend it in many cases. But for many people, especially simple home users who are not have any, critical needs, Claro is going to be quite adequate. And TJ, who's in Granada, has really high-end Claro and has been very pleased with their extremely high-end fiber services. So you can get quite good services from them too, and not saying that you can't. So it's a good option for nearly everyone. Teco and Claro are the leaders nationwide. There are a few others that play everywhere, and some people mentioned Tigo. They're a pretty low-end player in most cases, but somebody that I just spoke to has pretty good service from them now. So even they are changing a bit, and there's a number of smaller players as well. But Claro is who is available in the neighborhood here in Sutiava for the non-commercial options as Marcela was looking for. So we recently saw pricing from them, and it had dropped significantly, prompting her to go to Claro and check it out. So let's talk about that a little bit. First of all, and we are going to talk about her pricing in a minute, how do you go and get it here in Leon? Well, the Claro offices are right on the main Central Park, very near the gazebo, which is currently under construction. This is on the west side of the park. So if you're approaching from Sutiava, from La Barrio, from Saragossa, you're just going to come to the park. You're going to walk that one block from like Barbaro and Basilica, and you walk towards the cathedral, towards the Basilica. And as soon as you get to Central Park, Claro is right there on your right. Some people have a problem finding it, but it's on the square, on the west side of the square. It's like that, half that building. Half of it's the museum, half of it's Claro. So it's pretty hard to miss if you're actually on the square, and just trust me that it's on the west side. You go in there. It's a nice air-conditioned office. You walk in, and it's a big office, right? This is their central one for Western Nicaragua. You walk in, and immediately there is a person there's a little kiosk. They're going to give you a number, but generally you're going to be able to go straight in. It's very fast. They give you a number. There's a little waiting area, and they'll put your number up on a screen, generally right away, and have a booth for you to go to. So we were able to go up. Now, this is all in Spanish, so be aware that they're not going to have English speakers for you. We were able to go up, and she did need a little bit of information. Her identity card, you're going to need it. Who knows what you're going to need as a foreigner, as an expat, so that may be a little bit convoluted, but we have managed to get Claro service ourselves here many years ago, so it is theoretically possible, and things have changed a lot since then. You can't pay with credit card there, so have cash ready. It'll just make your lives a lot easier. The cost there is about $20. Try to have some change if possible, but they can make change, so that's not the end of the world. Once you get your service ordered, The hookup is generally done pretty quickly. They stated that it would take about 2 days. Given that it was a Saturday morning that we went, yesterday morning, they said it would be hooked up on Monday, tomorrow. So they move pretty quickly. This is not like the United States where you put in service requests and it could be a few weeks, but you hope someday they come to hook it up. They move pretty fast. This is Nicaragua, right? People talk about Nica time, and it's less predictable, but it's way faster than what you're used to in North America. And this is a great example of how fast that is. So they predicted it would be 2 days out, and they warned that you needed to be ready with $15, and they will not have changed. So have exactly $15 ready. They'll tell you at the time, this could change, right? But this is what it is today, for the installation, and you have to pay them cash at the time of the installation. That's one of the things that's weird for Americans, and honestly, it's weird for a lot of Nicaraguans too, that you have to have cash and pay the installers at that time. Why don't we just pay Claro all at once for everything? I don't know, but that's how they work, so just be aware of that. Now, what's really awesome is they were actually at Marcela's house yesterday within about 4 to 5 hours of going to order the service. So if you'd have gone out to lunch, done any amount of shopping, they could have been at her house before she even made it home. They really move fast here, but they did make it out, and it turns out this is a weird thing. Claro had taken her business email address, and the installer said, for some reason that makes no sense whatsoever, that they could only work with her Gmail address, which, okay, that's fine, and that's free, so it's not really a problem for anybody, but for some reason they couldn't just take her Gmail address and do the install at that time. They had to come back. So because no one had collected her Gmail, they couldn't do the install. I understand. It makes no sense. Trust me, I'm with you. But so they simply came back today. So they're already there at about 1:30 in the afternoon. She had put in her Gmail address. They came and did the install for $15, and it was that simple. So very, very quick and easy, far faster than the Claro main office had even predicted, right? Just a few hours. Imagine in the US or Canada calling for internet service and having them run fiber and hook it up in your house with a new modem and everything in just a few to several hours, not weeks, not even days, hours. That's pretty incredible. Now, what speed did she get? So she is not a power user. She has no need for anything special, as do almost none of you. I have some videos that talk about how in North America we've been tricked into thinking we need speeds that are completely absurd. Not that they're bad to have higher speed, but they don't do us any good. We're paying for things we never use, but people are convinced they do use it because it makes you feel good. They play on your hubris that, oh, you're a special case. You need all this speed. All these other people in the world, none of them do, but you do, and everyone believes it. So when I say I work fine off of 50 meg as a heavy social media user, constantly uploading videos, constantly editing things, constantly working with a commercial entity, I said I have to have really good high quality commercial internet at the beginning. Yes, but I don't need high speeds. I need quality and reliability, not speed. Speed is really not important for normal users. For most people, 30 megs would be absolutely adequate. I have 50, and that is just fine for me. Would I like a little bit more? Yes, a little more would make a difference, but do I need double? I don't, right? It really doesn't make that big of a difference. 80 would probably be perfect for me, given the immense amount of data that I move. The slowest speed you can get on Claro today, now this was when we moved here, their normal speeds were something like 30 and their cheapest was something like 5. Now their cheapest is 100, so it's very different. Now keep in mind the way that consumer speeds work and commercial speeds work are a little bit different because of things we've gone into in other videos. But for 99.9, and I mean that, percentage of you, 100 meg is not just adequate, it is ridiculously over provisioned. Most people would work great at 30. Those who won't almost always work great at 50. The number of people who actually benefit from anything over 30 to 50 is extremely few, and those who actually need it is way fewer than that, right? Of people who benefit from it, it's normally a really trivial difference. It's like, well, right today I'm downloading a huge video game, and so I'm affected today, and I have to wait a couple minutes instead of 1 minute, right? Okay, there are times, but generally when you're doing that, just, you know, go to the bathroom or go make a sandwich while you're waiting. The tiniest bit of planning or mitigation, and suddenly you're fine. So she was able to get 100 meg, which is far more than she could possibly need. Of course, I have a dog hitting the tripod. Of course, they tried to talk her into 200 meg because just like in the US, they know that if they get you to pay more, you will get speeds you will never use. So they're simply getting more money and they provide nothing. It's kind of like saying, how much water do you need per month? Oh, I think I need 1,000 gallons. Well, the reality is you don't need 1,000 gallons. You will never drink that much. You might drink 400. But when you go to the store, they go, well, it will cost hardly anything if we allow you to get up to 2,000 gallons. You say, ooh, 2,000, that sounds so much better than 1,000. Yeah, but you're only still drinking 400. You haven't changed how much you drink. So giving you a good deal on the stuff you never get doesn't matter, because they're not giving you water you don't drink. You still just drink the 400. The rest they keep. They just make more money. You're not getting actually faster speeds if you don't have a way to use them, as most people do not. The dog is actually laying on the tripod now. We're going to move this just a little bit. He is so goofy. So how much does it cost for this completely adequate for anyone or nearly anyone internet? 700 cords. Let that sink in, do the conversion. That's $19 and change. There's not very many places in the United States that you can get 100 meg fiber internet delivered to your home the same day with the equipment included, with no rental price on the equipment, for $19 and change, less than $20, having perfectly adequate fiber for home. Imagine being able to get that in the US. And I know there are a few people who are like, oh, I actually do get that in the US. That's fantastic. There are a few out there. But in general, very few people are. What people often get is $30 or $40 for something much faster. And they say, well, I'm getting so much more. But like I said, you're not. In most cases, that is a myth. There's not a way to actually leverage that additional speed. Maybe if you have 20 people in your house watching Netflix at the same time, at some point, yes, you might be able to leverage it. But realistically, I've never known people who are actually getting some real benefit from those speeds. And getting that incredible price is a big deal, right? Paying 30 versus 20 is a 50% difference in price. Are you really getting 50% more usage out of a faster service? Very, 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 very rarely would that be the case. It just doesn't add up. So less than $20, 100 meg of speed, which is completely adequate, fiber internet to the house, same day installation if you give them a Gmail address, with just $15 installation, and you don't have to lease the router from them. It's included in the service. Everything is included, the Wi-Fi, all of that. You are good to go for that price from Claro here in Leon, Nicaragua. I hope that answers some questions for y'all. As always, get in those comments and ask away with your questions, or just say hello. Send in a video of yourself. All instructions on how to do that and get yourself on the show is in the show notes, in the individual episode notes, of course. And we love it when you guys jump on the live stream on Thursdays. We do impromptu live streams as well, but Thursdays we do the big official one, and it's really a great time to come in and ask me questions directly, talk to other people from the community. Our group just grows and grows every week as more people get to know that it's happening and look forward to it. It's a big event. Like, it's very cool for those of us who are on. It's like our chance to hang out every week and spend some time together, especially now as I'm not on the WhatsApp Expats group. That was just too much of mental overhead for me. I needed to step away from that. It's got so many people on there now, although I heard it's much smaller now. But that's a great place to hop in and ask questions in real time as well during the week. But as always, send me an email or something. Just give plenty of time. It takes me a long time to respond to emails. And as always, if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. All the links are in the show notes. It really does help out with making the show. And I will see all of you tomorrow.